Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New York Metro Weather's long-range technical discussion. And we're actually going to take it more into a short-range discussion today as we begin to enter a very active period with the holidays upcoming. And we got a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it and bang it out as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And hopefully everyone can get a good idea as to what's going on and maybe learn a little something about the pattern as we move forward. So here's the current setup. Now we're looking at the 500 millibar heights on the left side of this panel here, and the anomalies, departure from normal with those heights. So you can see a big trough over the east. It's gotten a lot colder behind a cold front, and there was a big system over the central United States yesterday. And we have blocking or above normal heights here over the higher latitudes, but notice it really isn't that much of a block. There's the ridge here, the heights extend into Newfoundland, and that's about it. There's no real blocking feature over the Davis Straits and central Canada. So despite there being a negative NAO, this is not going to stop a storm from cutting inland, as we saw with the storm yesterday, which went into the Great Lakes. But here's a very important development. Let me just change this to Windows Basic here. We'll go black here for a second. Very important development here, as a piece of the Pacific Ridge, a very strong piece actually, is going to break off over Alaska, the Aleutian Islands, and begin to move towards central Canada. This is a huge development. Another piece is going to break here over the North Atlantic, and this is going to form an actual block. So we're going to look 60 hours from now at how much the pattern is going to change aloft. Alright, now we have some major changes going on, as you can see. Things have completely flipped. Here's where they were, here's where they are right now, and here's where they are just 60 hours from now. I mean, there are tremendous changes going on in the atmosphere. Now we have a monster ridge here over central Canada, and this is a legitimate ridge, closed contour of 552 decameters, and now back here towards North Atlantic, a piece breaking off here over Greenland and into the Davis Straits. And now, as you can see, to the north over southeast Canada, look at this upper level low, this lobe here, which is cut off underneath this blocking and is providing good cold air source here for the northeast United States. So this is a big change in the pattern. By 96 hours, now we have a monster block over central Canada. This is a classic look as far as high latitude blocking goes. Things are changing dramatically with the pattern, and it's starting right now. And as you can see here, over the central United States, here comes a piece of energy at 96 hours. We're going to talk about this later. This storm cannot cut to the north. There's a block, there's cold air trapped underneath it, and things are going to get pretty interesting here. So let's look at the pattern. Oh, here's a high resolution imagery of the block that we were just looking at over central Canada. You can see the standard anomaly of heights. This is to be quite honest with you, a good pattern for a snowstorm. So as we move forward here, what's going to happen underneath this block, and with this vortex stuck underneath it, is the short waves that come out of the Pacific are going to start to swing east, to be forced underneath and amplify this direction. Instead of being able to amplify up here, they're now going to have to dive this way. You can see it here. Look at this shortwave diving this way, and this shortwave coming out of the Pacific diving this way. So things are changing, and the first shortwave that's going to get involved in that is coincidentally looking to occur around Christmas. You can see here 1225 0Z. And here's a short wave, and you can see the energy, the vertical velocity here offshore, and not surprisingly, there's a low pressure system. And some models, including the GFS, are showing snow into the area on Christmas through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and parts of Connecticut. The low-level temperatures closest to the surface might be an issue depending on what time of day, so there might be snow and rain mix. We'll have to see. But if we get this weak little low-pressure system to form off the coast here, like some of the models are showing, with this kind of 500 millibar setup, we could have ourselves a nice little light snowstorm, especially over the interior, where the snow could accumulate and stick with the colder surface temperatures. We could have ourselves a nice little snow on Christmas, which would be, I mean, I'm just trying to think back to the last time we had a nice snowstorm on Christmas morning, and I can't really remember, so it's been a while. This is the pattern to get it. And we're going to have to watch and see if the models have the right idea with this. If this trend's weaker, if this shortwave trend's a little weaker, we're not going to get this kind of surface reflection. So we're going to have to see. Moving forward beyond that, that storm moves up here to the North Atlantic, and we have our second shortwave, which was here over the Four Corners and now has moved into the central U.S. And the models initially were taking this storm system up into Michigan. Guess what? It's not going to happen. This block is the reason why. Here it is. There's the block over central Canada. there's the block now on the 500 millibar charts without the anomalies. With this piece, with this vortex here, essentially stuck over southeast Canada, these two features are going to interact. This storm cannot cut farther north than, say, Ohio. That would be the farthest it could get if this that would take this feature it would have to be much stronger than it's being modeled right now. It would have to come in much deeper, much more amplified, and force the surface low development with the positive vorticity advection up here into Ohio. But the way the models are showing it right now, you're going to get a primary surface low that develops here into the Tennessee Valley, and then with this confluent flow here to the north, going to redevelop off the coast, and then you have this. Whoa! Here's a snowstorm on the GFS model at 130 hours. Very far in advance, too far in advance to get really excited about it. But this is your classic snowstorm. The surface low is right over the benchmark, the 4070 benchmark, and plenty of cold air on this cold conveyor belt here on the cold side and northwest side of the system. So if the GFS were to be correct, and here's a high resolution look at it, you can see the surface low off to the northeast. The surface low initially comes here with the 500 millibar vort, develops here in the Tennessee Valley, and very quickly, because of these two features, because of this block, because of this vortex, and this confluence, is forced to redevelop here off to the east, and you get this kind of result. But there's still a lot of potential options. Here's one of them. The interaction between this vortex and this shortwave is very important. Look at the 12Z GFS here, look at the bottom right. The interaction is just a little bit different, and you have warmer air here in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. Although the surface is colder, because of this interaction, the way that this feature to the north slid down and tried to phase a little bit with it, you got warm air advection occurring here in the mid-levels here. And the result is that you get warm air in the mid-levels, and the surface will remain cold because of the cold air source remaining good. So maybe we could be dealing with sleet and ice. So basically, to get to the bottom of it, the illustration here is what we're trying to prove, the point we're trying to make, is that things are looking like they're going to turn much more wintry over the next week. It could include snow on Christmas, and it could include a bigger storm down the road. Hard to say, especially for the bigger storm down the road, hard to say with much confidence exactly what's going to happen. But hopefully we've been able to lay it out here a little bit for you so you can understand a little bit of what's going on in the atmosphere and the changes that are occurring to make it happen. So we'll keep you guys updated. Stick with us over the next couple of days. And things look to get very interesting, so we'll be sure to keep you updated. Have a great weekend.